Hello, dear friends. The globalization of solidarity is positive, but the globalization of slavery is negative. Opinion piece. Crisis of globalism, lack of trust, political polarization, lack of coordination, lack of public support, lack of political will, lack of global consensus. Let's start. The supposed failure of the so-called New World Order is a topic of debate in many forums. In fact, Ariel Protocolario one has presented on Twitter 10 reasons why, in his opinion, the old world order has failed. These reasons are summarized in the lack of trust, the lack of public support, the lack of consensus, the lack of political will, the rise of the feeling of national identity, economic disparities, political polarization, lack of coordination, and military intervention in some countries. Definition. After the end of the Cold War in the 90s, the term New World Order was used to describe the reconfiguration of international relations and the emergence of a world without the bipolarity characteristic of the Cold War. Some people use the term New World Order to refer to a change in the global geopolitical and economic structure. It is suggested that there are powerful forces such as multinational corporations and international organizations that influence global decision making. The theory of the New World Order affirms the existence of a plan designed by a secret group that seeks to control world affairs in order to establish a bureaucratic single world government controlled by elitist and plutocratic sectors worldwide. This theory often includes ideas about political manipulation, financial control, and loss of national sovereignty. Globalism, properly understood, can be defined as the set of ideas, feelings, and acts that advocate and express solidarity among the peoples of the earth, and that tend to establish a law and institutions of a supranational nature that are common to them. By its very nature, globalism is neither politically nor confessionally partisan. It is also the current of thought adopted by people who identify as citizens of the world. Reasons. According to Ariel Protocolario one of the reasons why the New World Order failed is because there is no consensus on what it means. Different groups and individuals have different interpretations of what it should be like and how it should be applied. Furthermore, growing political polarization in many countries makes it difficult to create a consensus on the New World Order and take measures to implement it. The BRICS nations are against the New Order because they want to end the hegemony of the dollar. Another reason why the New World Order would have failed is that there is a lack of political will to make the changes. Many politicians and governments are more focused on their own interests and agendas than on creating a new world order. Furthermore, the public is generally skeptical of the idea of a new world order, and many people see it as a threat to their sovereignty and national freedom. There is also a lack of trust between nations and the international organizations, making it difficult to create a new world order based on cooperation and collaboration. The rise of the feeling of national identity in many countries made it difficult to create a new world order based on international cooperation. That is why it's hard to implement things like the Green New Deal. On the other hand, significant economic disparities between countries in plural, have created an uneven playing field, making it difficult to apply the new world order in an equitable manner that wins the support of leaders who want strong economies. Furthermore, the military intervention of many countries in other countries and the resulting conflicts have not been beneficial for the development of the new international order. There is also a lack of coordination and cooperation between nations, international organizations, and other stakeholders, making it difficult to create a new world order. Science. For those who say nothing ever happens, here is a list of obvious signs. The gold standard is returning. Zimbabwe wants gold. The World Gold Monetary Fund will be launched next month. More than 40 US states passed laws to restore precious metals as a legal tender. Basel III will begin to be applied on January 16th in banks. The ISO 20022 standard is implemented and is a platform against money laundering. Iraq got rid of the dollar. China got rid of the dollar. More than 100 countries got rid of the dollar. Russia ended the hegemony of the petrodollar in OPEC. The International Revenue Service will be abolished. The Internal Revenue Service. The Fed has no money and was absorbed by the Treasury. The Space Force is 100% operational and they have everything. Iran, Egypt, Arabia, and the Emirates plan to join the BRICS next month. Predictions. Artificial intelligence predictions. More and stronger solar flares. Researchers are supposed to find the exact year a large meteorite will hit Earth. Don't believe it. AI will be incorporated into cars. Some fool will manage to create a rogue AI. It will be contained, but not before damage is done to public infrastructure. There could be attacks on banks, but this will lead to many people investing in metals, land, etc. That could affect the economic sector. The goddess Kali was exhibited in the Empire State Building in New York. She is associated with time, the end of the world, and death. The Economist magazine seems to predict world events instead of reporting them. It speaks of a division pitting everyone against each other while chaos is observed. People point fingers at each other instead of seeing who is behind this and orchestrating it. According to a Hopi prophecy, in quotes, the day will come when the people in the high places will be hunted and vice versa. The hunters will be hunted. This will get out of control. Hunting will gain strength and spread everywhere. The period of purification that the Hopi speak of coincides with the biblical prophecy of the Antichrist. According to Mike Adams, the mainstream media is pushing for a Black Swan event that would take place in 2024, saying it will be a high-impact national security event. They are already blaming China, Iran, and North Korea, preparing the narrative before the event. The most likely form of such an event would be a cyber attack that takes down the financial sector or the power grid. They could cause widespread chaos and financial collapse. Toxicologists expose the risk of heavy metals found in common foods. Newsweek reports that although heavy metals are found in the environment, they can also accumulate as a result of industrial processes and pollution. Breaking news. The main international banks will cut more than, or have cut more than 60,000 jobs in 2023. The conflict spans from the Red Sea to the Strait of Gibraltar and off the coast of India. Russian oil supplies to Europe fell tenfold in 2023. Ukraine attacks the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant with drones daily. Some 3,500 Ukrainian soldiers have received training in Spain since February 2022. An Algerian manages to fly to France on the landing gear of a plane. The young man was alive, but in a state of emergency, since he was suffering from severe hypothermia. USA. California on alert for waves that could reach up to 12 meters. Extremely rare rainbow clouds covered the sky. The so-called polar stratospheric clouds were visible in and around the Arctic Circle. Observers and enthusiasts shared photos from Alaska, Norway, Sweden, Finland, and even Scotland. The state of Maine also excludes Trump from the ballot. Trump will appear on the Colorado primary ballot unless the Superior Court acts. Dentists sued in Minnesota for performing 8 crowns, 4 root canals, and 20 fillings in a single visit. Americas. Argentina will reduce the exchange rate of the national currency by half to combat the crisis. Milei will issue bills of 20,000 and 50,000 pesos due to inflation. Venezuela rejects the arrival of a British Navy ship to the coast of Guyana. Maduro orders the army to take defensive action in response to the arrival of an English ship in Guyana. The government of Peru dismantled more than 10,000 criminal gangs in 2023. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.